Good afternoon. I'd like to thank the Lone Star Republicans for hosting this forum. My name is Chuck Meyer. I'm a patent attorney. That means I'm an engineer with a law degree. Why is that important? Because I look at life through my engineering eyes. I try to solve problems, not create them like some lawyers do. But one of the problems that I want to solve in Washington is reining in the Obama administration. Now, how do you do that? You do it through legislation. Not when you don't have a Republican Senate, and not when you don't have a Republican president. You do it through oversight, oversight, oversight. And what I mean by that is you bring in members of the Obama administration, bring them before congressional committees, and cross-examine them. I'm an assistant district attorney in Hardin County, as well as being a patent attorney. I know something about cross-examining people. Additionally, a little bit of my background. I have a little time left. I'm a former executive with the BlackBerry Company. I came to Texas in 1995 to work for Compaq Computer Corporation as one of their patent attorneys. I'm from Lumberton, Texas, Hardin County. That's where, Hardin County, where I'm an assistant district attorney. I'm a member of the Rotary, and I'm also an ambassador of the Chamber of Commerce in Lumberton. I thought it was going to end. Thank you.
The first few questions are actually a series of yes, no, or one-word response type questions. The questions will be at a fast pace, so there is no timer on these questions. What is your marital status?
Married 31 years.
Have you ran for public office before?
Yes, in 2012.
If so, which office?
This particular seat, CD-36.
Have you ran for Congress before?
Yes, this particular seat.
If elected, where will your primary district office be located?
This district is so huge, we need 4 district offices.
How many times have you attended hearings in Washington, D.C.?
Oh, 17.
Do you favor an increase in the minimum wage?
No.
That was the last of the quick response questions. Question number 2, a 30-second response. Should a representative be required to actually live in the district a certain period of time prior to running for that office?
As a practical matter, yes. As a legal matter, our Constitution does not require that. And since I have more time, that is something that would require a constitutional amendment in order for it to happen. I live in Lumberton, which is smack dab in the middle of the district, and I would expect that those that want to be the next congressman would live in the district. I think it's very difficult to relate to the people of the district if you don't live in the district.
Question number 3, a 30-second response. Will you support a constitutional amendment to require that laws apply equally to citizens and members of Congress?
Yes, I do, although I'm not entirely sure that it requires a constitutional amendment. I would hope that we could get legislation through and that the people of the United States would elect congressmen and congresswomen that would be willing to have the laws that apply to them apply to us, apply to them as well. And one of the other ways of addressing this is through term limits, so that which I am in favor of, so that members of Congress have to live under the laws that they pass after their term is up.
Question number 4, a 30-second response. Have you read your party's platform, and do you support it?
Not only have I read the party's platform, but I've also read the Constitutional Declaration of Independence. If you want to know how I'm going to vote, this document here, which is a pocket constitution, is the basis upon which I'll vote. And if there's any question about it, and it's the platform of the Republican Party of Texas. If you don't like what's in the platform of the Republican Party of Texas, please change it. But until I hear from the constituents of CD-36 that I should not be voting in accordance with the platform of the Republican Party of Texas, that's how I'm going to be voting. And that's not.
Question number 5, a 1-minute response. What is your overall thought on the Department of Homeland Security?
Wow. Department of Homeland Security was created out of fear. And I think in an ideal world, we'd have probably only a handful of departments, much like we started out with our founding fathers. I began my career at the Pentagon as an engineer. I'm very much in favor of security, but I'm not in favor of an organization that spies on its own citizens. And I realize that that's more NSA than the Department of Homeland Security. But I would look seriously at integrating the parts of Homeland Security into other departments of the government. Let's see, Homeland Security includes immigration, and it includes customs, it includes many other different areas. It includes TSA, and I would
Question
about that
number
later.
6, a 30-second response. What role should the Department of Homeland Security have as it relates to cybersecurity?
I'm not so sure the Department of Homeland Security should have any role as it relates to cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is something that we all have to pay attention to. As an executive with the BlackBerry company, most of my life was taken up dealing with regulations in Europe on data privacy and data protection. If you go out to my website.
Question number 7, a 30-second response. What are your thoughts of having drones watching our borders and citizens? And should local law enforcement be allowed to utilize drones without probable cause?
And as to the second question, absolutely not. I have been endorsed by the Republican Liberty Caucus in no small part because I believe that our constitutional rights have been trampled upon and will continue to be trampled upon. So drones without probable cause, absolutely not. If there is a way of securing the border with drones that doesn't bleed over to looking at us as U.S. citizens, I would be in favor of looking at that, but it's a very slippery slope. If you have
Question number 8, a 30-second response. What are your thoughts on the war on drugs?
I am in favor of decriminalization of marijuana. What that means is that I would not want to see young people going to jail, but having to be more of an administrative penalty. I am not in favor of legalizing marijuana. I'm not in favor of legalizing drugs. I think we have to look at this like every budget item and see if the cost benefit is worth the war on drugs, and if there isn't a smarter way that we can handle it.
Question number 9, a 30-second response. Is government spending out of control? If so, what should be done to reduce it?
Finally, an easier question. Of course government spending is out of control. As I mentioned, I was at the Pentagon and during the Reagan era build-up, and even the Defense Department has excessive spending. We had $150 toilet seats and hammers that were outrageously priced, in part because they were overspecified. Government regulation is driving a lot of excessive spending. But again, the cylinders and the crony capitalism that we've seen under this administration has taken us well beyond we've seen in past administrations. Through oversight, you can address that.
Question number 10, a 30-second response. What is the first piece of legislation you will personally offer?
Well, there are so many. One that I've proposed in the past is that we have savings bonds, specialized savings bonds to support manned spaceflight. Now, I realize that's not exactly a big grabbing issue throughout the district, but it certainly should be in this area. We need to have heroes for our children besides Justin Bieber and Lady Gaga. We need to have, I became an engineer in no small part because of the space program.
Question number 11, a 30-second response. On which committee do you feel you are best qualified to serve? Please explain.
In 2012, I was at the National Convention with the Republican Nationalist Lawyers Association. I ran into Darrell Issa, Republican congressman from California who does a lot of oversight. I told him I was a patent attorney, and he said, "Wow, you're a patent attorney?" I said, "Yes, sir. We need to have you on the Judiciary Committee if you make it into Congress." If I'm on the Judiciary Committee, which is where there's never been a patent attorney in all the time of Congress, there's never been a patent attorney in Congress, I can address other issues, such as, I'll tell you.
Question number 12, a 1-minute response. Please share your thoughts on amnesty for the estimated 12.5 million illegals in the United States.
No. Do I need to say more? Amnesty is not the proper approach. We need to enforce our laws. I believe in the rule of law. I'm a prosecutor. We need to come up with a solution other than granting amnesty to the illegal in our country. My wife is a legal immigrant. She's from Germany. We need to reform our system so that the coyotes can't profit off of the disastrous immigration system we have, so that we can bring in those into our country that will contribute to our economy and keep those that will do us harm and keep those that want to live off our government without contributing to the economy. We need to reform our system, but not through amnesty.
Closing comment. A 1-minute response. You will have 1 minute to offer closing comments.
I'm a little different than the other guys, I suspect, and the lady in the race, in that I don't believe that how you vote is as important as what you're going to do in Congress. I intend to be in the district and having town hall meetings whenever I'm not in Washington, D.C. One of my criticisms of the current incumbent is he hasn't been in the district. And then oversight, oversight, oversight. I want to do what's right through oversight for all of us in this district and for everyone in the United States. That is our strongest weapon. Challenging legislation in courts is another strong weapon, as is nullification at the state level. We need to have a three-pronged approach to address the issues in Washington, D.C. And the best thing that a congressman can do is exercise oversight in the committees that have oversight jurisdiction over the various departments in the Obama administration. And for that matter, if we have a Republican president, we should continue the oversight.
We would like to thank you for your